am here. My name is Leah McGee, and today I'm going to be talking about epilepsy. Do any of you guys know about epilepsy? I understand that. I didn't know much about epilepsy until a tragedy occurred right in front of my eyes. Once upon a time, not long ago, on a Sunday morning in my small, humble church, I was in the bathroom with my friend. I don't want to say names, so let's just call her Garth. As we stood there, she suddenly fell to the floor, and there was a loud thud. This girl, Garth, was shaking so bad and turned so pale and so blue. It was almost as if she was a ghost. I was so terror-stricken and so shocked that I did not even know how to react. I just stood there, too stunned to speak. All I could think is, what do I do? Approximately 1 minute of time had elapsed, and she ceased to seize. She stood up and drank some water and was A-okay. This experience left me dumbfounded. Do not do what I did. Here's some advice for the future. Number 1, stay with the person the entire duration of their seizure and also time it, please. 2, try to cushion their head and move them away from the sharp objects. 3, stay with the person until they are fully alert. 4, try to put them on their side and take off their eyeglasses. And here's some stuff you should not do. Number 1, do not attempt to hold them down. 2, do not put anything in their mouth because that could honestly injure them even more. And do not attempt to give them CPR. Do not give them any food or water because they are honestly unconscious. You should bring up 911 if the seizure lasts longer than 5 whole minutes, or if it's the first time they've experienced their seizure, if the person gets extremely hurt, or if the person has a seizure in water, and lastly, if they have any medical problems such as heart disease or pregnancy. Some things that can honestly trigger some seizures is flashing lights, alcohol and drugs, menstrual cycle, missed medication, and specific foods. And right now, I'm about to conduct an interview with my good old friend Garth that I mentioned before. Now, Garth, when did you first find out that you had epilepsy?
I found out I had epilepsy in January of 2020.
And honestly, I'm wondering what your first seizure was honestly like.
I was sitting in a Mexican restaurant and I got a really funny feeling in my body and I started having these tremors and then I kind of just went into a tonic-clonic seizure. It was a very weird feeling.
And now, what specific triggers do you have for your seizures?
Sleep deprivation, stress, anxiety, and very high stress and like very high sensory moments can trigger them.
And now, Garth, are there any medications that you take to help your epilepsy?
I take sertraline to try to lower the anxiety that can cause them.
What do you recommend other people to do when they witness a seizure happening in progress?
I tell them to keep an eye on me and try to document how long it was and to make sure I'm not biting my tongue or I'm not hitting my head on something and to just make sure I stay alive pretty much.
Honestly, how is your life affected and is there anything that epilepsy prevents you from doing?
I don't have them very, very often, but I do have to be careful at amusement parks or festivals or fairs, places that have a lot of people and that's a lot of activity going around and stuff like that.
And now, Garth, last and final question. What do you wish that other people knew about the epilepsy?
I wish people knew that seizures and epilepsy can vary. I know a girl who had vomiting as one of her seizures and it would happen at night at the same time on the dot on the hour, but she doesn't remember them. All seizures are different and all people with epilepsy are different. Some need service dogs, some don't even need medication because it could be so minor. I want people to know that it is completely different in everybody and it affects everybody differently.
Now that you know all about epilepsy, take all the knowledge that you learned and run with it.